This reading is from Book 2A, Memories for Tomorrow. And back in 1978, I decided to write down information about this man who had come into my life. And let me start here. So one day in June, he came to see the place, 1978, the place being Ananda Ashrama. When different ones first took notice of this peculiar man, dressed as though he were the head of the mafia clan, very fine and expensive imported tailored suits with strikingly different ties or bow ties or scarves around the neck, but everything in ultimate harmony with each other. Silver gray hair, golden brown complexion, and sky blue eyes, all topped with a very distinguished wool hat, which he wore like a crown with grace and dignity. Sister Shiraduni was the curious one who really wanted to know who he was and is he with the mafia. He certainly was an Italian with the raspy voice, and as a salesman he traveled to and fro New Jersey, Connecticut, and sometimes going through New York. He sold chemicals, so they used to joke around saying he was the dissolver of the clan. Soon enough he was asked point blank, and he answered straightforward with a "No, but a brother-in-law or some distant relation is connected." Slowly but surely, people were feeling not only comfortable with him, but somewhat amused and maybe delighted when having short encounters with him. He had been experiencing a psychic phenomenon which were beginning to impose on his privacy and to some degree disturb him. When he came to the ashrama at odd times, other than the public service on Sunday, he would walk to nature's sanctuary and sit there. This power he was experiencing was such a high and positive one that he began to question what was this energy force that he was experiencing in his apartment. Almost every Thursday around 5 p.m., he would come straight from his business trip to the ashram, Vedanta Center in Cohasset, Massachusetts. I was the cook for that day and would just be finishing the last cleanup duties when he would stroll in and in short, brief sentences inquire about the menu or whatever. Then, if he really wanted to open up and share a strange experience he had, we'd go to the Bergson's. It was a coffee and ice cream shop around the corner. We'd go to Bergson's and have a cup of coffee and maybe a dish of chocolate ice cream. From the very beginning, I felt very open with him and carefree, always teasing or poking fun at him, and getting the greatest delight in watching this extremely dignified figure completely burst out into laughter, slapping his knee, clapping his hands, and then quickly composing himself once again, folding his arms, mouth tightly closed, big eyes rolling, and then finally released and back to normal. He was gradually loosening up, expressing his childlike nature more and more. He began to move closer to the community on the whole, cultivating an individual relationship with each one, especially Shiraduni, Yama, Shuma, Borada, Mukta, and myself. He really tried to give Shobana love and encouragement, but she wasn't always ready to receive. Frank had discovered a place and its people to whom he could give, and everybody recognized his generosity. He would drive out of his way to take Shirduni and Barda to their homes in New Jersey. He would come and cook the most elegant meal, providing all the ingredients. One time he cooked a seafood combination including lobster, which roughly came out to cost him $70. In those days, that was a lot of money. At different times, he would take different ones out to lunch on a Sunday afternoon, or spontaneously buy Sister Mukta a pair of much-needed boots. One day, he asked about a person whom I was good friends with at the time, Diane, the photographer, and I shared with him that I was concerned for her financial problem causing her so much stress, and he automatically pulled out $100 and said, "Put this in an envelope with her name on it and just leave it on the piano. Don't tell anyone." The piano is where we picked up our mail, and $100 was probably rent. He had so much more to give on all other levels, but for now it was taking expression on the material. He received in turn the joy of giving and sincere appreciation. Here ends a brief introduction to the man who came into my life to walk with me through the fire of truth. What we experienced together I will try in utter simplicity to record on paper, praying that the real essence of each experience comes through to touch the heart, and if it is pure in itself, may it give you strength and courage to walk the razor's edge towards the light for the love in the life that is. Here are two pictures of my mom, Renee, Lila Ma, and I when we took a little road trip with Francesco. We went up to Salem, and I'm not sure if this is even if you can even see this. It just seems like when I'm looking at it, it seems like the picture is very dark. So I'm not sure if it's even showing up. But this is just an idea of what I looked like. And this is right before I left the ashrama to begin a relationship with Francis Joseph Supino. Okay? And then here's a picture of us the day before our wedding. We were just kind of goofing around. He picked me up. And this is a picture of our wedding as we're coming down through the Presbyterian Episcopal Church in Cohasset, Massachusetts. We chose to get married outside in the courtyard in the back and get married standing on a big rock as our foundation. And we had a simple wedding. We invited anybody and everybody from the community. We didn't send out invitations. We said, if you want to come and celebrate with us, come, show up. And so just a few people from the ashrama, Purna showed up, and Gordon and Barbara played music for us, and my mother was there, and a few other friends and family were there. Frank's daughter Barbara was there. We had I would say we had about 18 people show up, and it was a very small, quaint, cozy wedding. And then we had a nice reception across the street at a restaurant, and then we drove down to Newport, Rhode Island, and spent one night there. And then it was back to work. That's it. Simple.